Okay, pick one, pack one. It's like just the greatest hits of the Modern Horizons era. Um, Palace Jailer as the Shieldred, and then there's Mana Vault and Counterspell as well. Um, I love all those cards. I think it's not Mana Vault. I think it's between Shieldred and Counterspell for me. Jailer and Elazar, I think, are defendable, but I think we just take Shieldred and assume that the 6 players to our left are going to be in blue and white. Yeah, I like Shieldred. I do love a Counterspell, but I think Shieldred is better. And now we can just take like a Leak or something. Leak, Scalding Tarn, Duress. Am I going to try and cut the people to my left from blue in this pack, though? That's the question. So I'm not getting any blue pack too. So we could just take like Necromancy. Necromancy is really good, apparently. Um, Apparently, it's a dagger at exactly one person worldwide. I do know it's good. So Mana Leak, Duress, Necromancy, Tarn. The Tarn starts fixing our mana if we want to end up in somewhere Grixis-y. I assume I'm going to want an Underground Sea somewhere in my deck. But Mana Leak is cool. I think I'm going to take the Necromancy actually. You can take Necromancy, Will, Epicure, or Gut, and then just end up with like some sort of Rakdos BT down reanimated deck, something like that. See how that goes. Bolt versus Oliphant. I think I'll just take the Bolt. Speed Shark and Spell Pierce, but I think I'm gonna just like attempt to abandon blue and be like a Rakdos Reanimate Rakdos mid-range deck. And Bolt is all a bit too efficient. Um, Research Death Probe, Tiger, Bauble, or Arc Trail. I think I'll take a Bauble. Bauble and fetch lands, or I could take a Tiger. I think Bauble's cool. And then Fatal Push, Chandra, Wasteland. I think we can take Wasteland here. One day we'll read this card, but it's not today. Yeah, we'll take a Wasteland. This deck looks fun so far. Going this way and trying to leave blue based on the fact that we've just passed a billion insane blue cards of Urza Fairy, Palace Jailer, Counterspell. I think there's something else in there. There's Mastermind and Malcolm as well, which aren't embarrassing. I think that's fine. I don't know what we're looking out for, but okay. So this pack's got like the Nutlo Reanimate and Exhume, but I think snapping off the Nutlo Reanimate is still fine. Like, what am I taking over it? Spellbomb, Fire Blast, Firebrand, they're all rubbish. Or going out of the Badlands colors. I think Exhume's good enough for us. Okay, so we get our first look at a fatty. Um, or I can take an Ophiomancer and aim higher with my fatties. I think I like Ophiomancer just because it's going to be sick with the recurring nightmare. I think Triplicate Titan is fairly mediocre. Um, so Tendrils, Massacre Girl, Grave Titan. I'm going to take K commands. K commands are really fun. Grave Titan's like again another middling reanimator card. So let's take K command for now. I think those last two picks are interesting. Like I could have gone for like big middling reanimate targets in Grave Titan and Triplicate Titan, but instead I've just got castable, nice mid-range cards. Arid Mesa versus Restless Vents. I'm gonna plan ahead and take the Arid Mesa. It works with my Bauble, and I hope it becomes a Rakdos land at some point. Scrapwork Mutt, another consideration, but let's take the fetch land. It's quite a late fetch, so it's going to be on color as well in some variety, shape, or form. Okay, and then this pack there's Gix, which is sometimes interesting, but I think I'll take the Epicure just for the one mana spells. It makes a blood so I can discard stuff for Exhume and Necromancy. Arid Mesa could then fetch black and green with the Dancer Triumph, or I could take an Ember Cleave. Let's take Dancer Triumph. And now we'll take an Arc Trail just for some cheap interaction. So yeah, Dancer Triumph also hedges towards like opening a Thari or Fourth Elling gets one of those busted Boros cards. We'll take a Shattered Sanctum for the same reason. Maybe we can end up Mardu. Well, the Gruff Triplets is a fatty, but I think I like this. And then cards we can't play. So I like where we're at. I haven't taken any fatties yet, and that is one of the weaknesses of my Reanimator game is that I don't like spending picks on medium expensive cards. Bloodstained Mire is going to be hard to pass up here. I don't think there's anything else really contending with it. So let's just take the Mire. That also picks up our Dancer Triumph. And then maybe we can wheel a Hearse, a Flame Tongue, Pyroke, any of those we find. But for now, it's just a Bloodstained Mire. There's a Thari, but there's an Archon of Cruelty. So at the moment, we've got questionable modes on Soul Guide Lantern and the Blood Off Epicure to get it in the yard. But it is one of, if not the best, Reanimator targets. I wouldn't hit a Wheel of Fortune to go with my Shieldred. DT and Vamp are almost always welcome in a black deck. So that was a great one. The Bloodstained Mire is going to do a lot for our mana as well. A bad land, a Godless Shrine, a Scrub land, anything like that, which can turn this Arid Mesa into a Rakdos land would be great. So yeah, nice start to pack 2. Okay, so there's the Vamp if we want it. There's also a Marsh Flats, which could help us go into like actual factual Mardus. But I think I've got 2 fetch lands and a white land or 2 white lands already, so I think that's already an option. And I think I can just take the Vamp, and that will find me key pieces to the Reanimate strategy. The Soulscar Mage is unknown at the moment. Not sure where we're going with that. Not sure if that's going to make it in, but so Thoughtseize, Duretti, Glorybringer, him. As good as Duretti is, I think we just take Thoughtseize. That's up there as one of the top 2 or 3 black cards. So maybe it's the 3rd best one after the Tutors. I'm not sure. I've not really thought about it. Oh, you've got the Shieldreds and Bowmasters as well, so I definitely have it top 5. So God's Shrine, Sacred Foundry, Cobra. So maybe I'm just supposed to ignore the concept of a white splash in this pack and take Collective Brutality because I need to look for discard outlets for my Archon. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so next pack we've got Unearth, Lily, Virtue, but I'm just going to take Grizzlebrand. It's the second fatty for Archon. We're sort of slowly getting there on manual discard outlets. And when we're not like in the Entomb or blue, and it's stuff like Epicure or Collective Brutality, etc., you do want to load up on the fatties. I know I didn't really load up on the fatties in pack 1, but I'm gonna get rid of that Soulscar Mage. Grizzlebrand should be a nice way to go. I'd really be interested in Fable or Inti. Obviously, it's a bit late in a pack to get either of those cards at the moment. But 2 very strong large creatures. Now there's Torak, Bitter Triumph or Bitter Reunion. Between those 2, I think Bitter Reunion's better between Triumph and Reunion. Well, I haven't really got much removal at the moment. So maybe I'm supposed to take the Triumph and just let the cards flow as the cards flow. Yeah, we can come up with better, or maybe not better, but different card draw later. So yeah, 2 fatties. Like Epicure, Collective Brutality, Bitter Triumph are 3 perfectly good outlets. Thoughtseize and K Command can do that as well. Here we get a medium Rakdos card. I think of the medium Rakdos cards here, think Grim Lava Monster is the best one to keep us in touch with the green and white decks. I've got 2 fetch lands and a wasteland to go, and a bauble to feed it as well, so it's not just like I'm discarding my own things and exiling my Archons. Okay, out of the wheel pack, I believe we've got all of the cards really. I think I'm gonna take Flame Tongue Carvu. I don't like Dreams of Oil and Steel. Rabbleman's good, and Pyrokinesis is nice, but I think Flame Tongue Carvu is just gonna be a nice enough mid-rangey threat card for us. Now we can maybe Cityscape over Damnation. How's that sound? That sounds awful. Sounds like Cityscape's such a bad reanimation target, isn't it? Like I'm never casting it, or I'm hopefully never casting it. I'm never unearthing it, which means I'm reanimating it and then praying to untap with it. I think just having an empty board is way better. Now we'll carry Zev down to the side. Let's take the Hallowed Blade just in case that fixing manifests itself later. And a City of Traitors, which is non-zero to make the cut. Like these 2 white cards, I've got the Triome, I've got the Arid Mesa, so that's like 3, this be 4 white sources. Hallowed Blade is a discard outlet. It's not one I'm particularly excited to splash into. But these are certainly 2 options if we decide that we're not good enough at getting cards into our graveyard. Going into pack 3, Inti and Fable at the top of my list, on top of Power. There's a Grief there. And recall, but I don't really have those sorts of reanimates. 2 Karus. White cards as an Ashen Rider, which I'll aim to wheel, and I'll take the Grief for now. Ashen Rider or Imperial Seal coming back will be fine. The delayed Fire Blast thing will be acceptable, but Grief, and then we get past the Sapphire, so Sapphire and then nonsense. Okay, we'll just take our Sapphire and be happy with that. Not much in that pack for us. I'm not an Evolved Sleeper believer. There's another card there that was also questionably weak as well. I don't think Bazaar is in this version of the cube. So cut down, Saga, Hellrider. Oh, I like the Carnosaur. The Carnosaur's 3 mana interactive piece that I can bring back, and then Saga for just Bauble Sapphire is a little bit weak. Like it's not going to make a massive difference to our lives, but I think the Carnosaur could. Now we've got our pick of removal in Chain Lightning or Burst Lightning, or the Vindicate could be that splash we were always dreaming of. Or there's the black cards, but actually there's a Witchful Primus. Sorry, I know I'm not very good at taking the big fat things. I'm going to take a Primus. Yeah. Primus sort of completes the fatty package for us, I think. And reanimating Grief isn't embarrassing either. So there's a Fable. Wow. I thought we were well past Fable time. Dark Ritual's cool and all, but Fable will work perfectly here. If either of these 2, Faithless Meeting or Dark Ritual, comes around, we'll probably play them. But for now, Fable of the Mirror Breaker is exactly what we asked for. Misty's not going to make it. I guess Shieldred's Edict means that I don't have to worry too much about splashing a path off of my Arid Mesa. We never did get a Blood Crypt, but that's fine. Let's drop these guys. I think we're good. Yeah, this is close to a deck already. Trumpeting Carnosaur can go here. We've only really got 3 cards there that we aren't casting. Everything else we can cast. We've got a Vamp if we want it. So Rancor, Dragon's Blade Channeler, Concealing Curtains. So Channeler's going to get some triggers, right? Rancor, it's another 4 mana card. I'm just going to take the Channeler. I like the Curtains as well, but I've got Thoughtseize. Channeler's another way to get cards into our graveyard. Yeah, you've got to be pretty lucky with this, but to get the big ones. But we can, I don't know, Vamp, top an Archon, Thoughtseize you, untap Necromancy. I don't know. We can't do that because we don't have any dual lands in our deck, but you know, if someone had taken a Badlands. Right. Oof. So Fire Covenant, I've already got Damnation and plenty of just random removal. The Fire Blast Ball might be on the wheel as well, so I think we can rule out Fire Covenant. I think it makes it a very easy currency converter and a large amount of regret on that Urza's Saga. Converter and Fable, I think we've got really, really late this draft. I would not expect to get either of those cards that late, usually. Okay, and then on the wheel, there's the Fire Blast. There's also Imperial Seal or Torsten. I think I'll take Torsten. It's not the best, but draws a bunch of cards if we get it in. I could play it in Danther and Shattered Sanctum to splash the Torsten as well. I was asking for a lot to go right. I've also got Currency Converter. These are all close to unplayable for us, I think. I'm not going to play a Mutable. I'll play an Evolve Sleeper just in case I want a Death Touching blocker or something. My true name still. So Hellrider looks like it's not doing what our deck is aiming to do. So I'll just take a Hanger back. Don't think I'll be on that one either. But and then Jadar can probably go in. I haven't really got any sacrifice synergies, so maybe Jadar can get out. So yeah, Hangerback can go as well. What's really weak here? So I'm probably going to play in Danther and Shattered Sanctum just for this Torsten up here. I know that might be a long shot. I'm not going to play a Plains with the Arid Mace, so that's just going to be a red land to feed our Channeler and our Bauble. I will need cuts from here though. Dark Ritual, well. Okay. Dark Ritual can come in. Welcome, Dark Ritual. Mana Tide to the sideboard and Knight of the Reliquary, 45th pick, where you expect it to go. Okay, so I've made some cuts, and I think my last cut needs to be between Torsten and Ophiomancer. I think I'm going to start the Ophiomancer and bench the Torsten. No, actually, I like it the other way around. And I've cut Damnation, Arc Trail, Kari Zev from the deck. The Sapphire Wasteland. I will play the Sanctum and the Triumph for Torsten. Let's say my Arid Mesa City of Traitors can come in. And then basic lands are going to be Leaning Swamps. I definitely don't need a forest, but thank you, Modo. Yeah, it's 3 mountains, 5 swamps, and an additional swamp because Modo can't count to 40. So there's 15 lands plus a Sapphire plus an infinite amount of 1-drops and some looking with Bauble. I think that's okay. And then we've got decent discards on Triumph, Brutality, Epicure, maybe Channeler, Currency Converter. Yeah, we've got loads. So we should be good. I'll see you for round 1. Okay, so round 1, we're on the draw against Liking for real. We've got turn 1 Wasteland or turn 1 Currency Converter. So Forest and pass. So I think I'm going to play Swamp, play Currency Converter. And the question is, do I want to grief them? I don't think so just yet. I don't know. Maybe I should. Let's do it and pray they've got a non-creature spell, so I can assume it next turn. Not give them the free value. Oh, holy hell. So we almost died, so let's take their channel. Probably good to grief now. Yeah, probably a good idea. So we'll channel, and then next turn we'll exhume and take their Through the Breach, and then they'll have an Inferno Titan and a Kozilek in hand. Cool, so that was close. That was close. I was concerned about the fact that I'm just going to see a hand of like Sylvan Caryatids, Uberward, obviously Questing Beast, and just my grief was going to kill me. They play Evergreen Team tapped. I said I can Thoughtseize later. let's just grab ourselves a mountain and get our grief back into play and him rolling. And then next turn I can Wasteland Thoughtseize. So we'll take the Through the Breach. And now their hand is with Kozilek, Forest, Inferno Titan, plus the card they drew for the turn. Oh, plus another mystery that I've deleted. Maybe it's an additional forest. So let's attack for 3. And this time I'm going to Wasteland them and loot with Currency Converter rather than casting Thoughtseize. I think we can wait another turn before we Thoughtseize them. So waste your Overgrown Tomb and pass. Now they play a 3rd forest. We'll loot and probably just discard City of Traitors, I imagine. Draw a card. I always misclick this card, and it's infuriating. So yeah, let's just discard the City of Traitors, because I can make treasures anyway, so then they wouldn't have the land that just dies. And they besage you that. Okay, so no. Oh, I pressed no on the wrong one. So no and no, apparently. I fucked up. Never mind. So they drew a bestage you, we drew a Fable. Yeah, no, I was assuming I was pressing no on the Exiled Currency Converter. But instead I pressed no on the Fable Tutor. So that could be an error, because if they get to play a spell this turn, I would have been able to Thoughtseize it. They found a red source. I would like to discard this Collective Brutality, but hold my Thoughtseize, please. I get a Lightning Bolt. Let's get in for 5 and then Thoughtseize them. This is proper grindy, this is. So we attack. Opponent goes to 9. We make a treasure. And then post-combat hit him with the Thoughtseize. Kozilek or Inferno Titan. So get rid of your Inferno Titans. That's the one you've got out to play this game. And if they weren't going to die so quickly, the turn after next we'd have Fable Grief on your draw step every turn. So that's game 1. Sideboarding against Through the Breach nonsense, Through the Breach channel nonsense. I guess I could play a Plains and a Manatide. That's all I've really got, that and Grief and Thoughtseize. I think screwing up our lands more than we already have done to play this Torsten doesn't sound winning. So pray for turn 1 interaction. I've got a Grief, and you know what? I'll be firing it off turn 1 today. No questions asked. So I think tap land Grief sounds fine. And then I can play the Grim later. I can just Thoughtseize. Yeah, that's way better. So we'll get a Swamp. Thoughtseize you. What have you got? DT, Cityscape Leveler, Kozilek. So no DTs for you, just a bunch of bad cards. Cool. So land-wise, they've got Mountain, Bestage you, and they draw a Yavimaya to hold up Bestage you. Okay. So I can wait on the Triumph and play. I can play Grim. I can wait on the Triumph because I might be able to cycle the Triumph later. So they can top deck Channel and kill me, but they've got both of these anyway, sort of thing. So they're both going to be a problem. But then I'll have Shieldred's Edict for whichever one they go for. Because if they go for both, then they probably just die to the Grim. So they found a turn 3 play, which is the Green Sun Zenith for 2. I guess a Sylvan Caryatid that I can't do anything about. I guess Swamp. So let's go Swamp Pass. And now I'll cycle the Triumph on end step. Opponent's holding Beseiju, level a Kozilek. And I'm digging for a Necromancy, really. They play the Beseiju, which doesn't sound good for us. It sounds to me like they've got a Through the Breach of some variety. Yeah, so if I'd griefed last turn, this wouldn't be an issue. I'll just play through Green Suns again. Okay. Green Suns for 4. Gets a Questing Beast. They've got 2 cards in hand. Do I want to throw an Edict at them? Or do I just want to play Grief next turn? I think I'll just play Grief next turn. I'll take 4. But the Grief next turn doesn't do anything, does it? These lands, man. These lands. Let's cycle. That's a Primus. That's awful. Fable. Grief reshuffle. Or I can take 4. You always play the Fable out. They've played their Beseiju, so it's safe. I know I'm going to take 4 off of the Questing Beast. But the following turn, next turn I can kill it with Carnosaur. Or I can just play the Carnosaur and trade, actually. That's way better. 1, 3, 4. So I need to draw a land for that. But I don't know the last time they looked for top. They've still got the 2 bricks in hand, which aren't bricks the moment they find something to do. They found a channel. Channel, activate top. Does that mean they found Through the Breach as well? They just had all of it? No, they would have, if they had either of them, they would have floated them last turn, right? No, because they shuffled with Zenith. So yeah, I mean we just got beaten too slowly. I think there's a lot of different sequences we could have taken. I felt like grief, yeah, because they've been living off the top, right, with the Sensei's top. Pest Infestation, sure. They didn't Pest Infestation for very much, considering they've got an active channel. Now they're going to take 10. Casting Kozilek, which I don't think I can beat. I need them to really play both of them. I don't know if they can do that with their life total. Well, they can go to 1. I wonder how greedy they'll get. Does this kill non-creatures or does this kill anything? Sure, it's 1 type, non-land permanent. Okay, so they're just going to get in with Questing Beast. They're at 9. Don't think I can do anything about that. Well, I can attack with my Goblin Shaman token. And then I can play a Trumpeting Carnosaur and get annihilated. They go for the double block up to 11. Oh. Is that better? No, I should trade with both the tokens. Back. So I'll just get annihilated next turn, but I do get the old I think Damnation's in my sideboard, but I do get to discover something. Discover 5. Okay. Nothing like a Hail Mary to finish a match. Oh, game. And Shieldred's Edict has just been useless this whole time because of the Caryatid that they got earlier. So we discover 5 and we hit a K command. So that's 6. So is there anything I want to pick up? No. So let's target player discards a card and 2 damage to any target. So your face, your face. So what can we do ever? And get annihilated. There's just this Caryatid that's going to ruin us. I don't feel like clicking through an annihilate trigger, so let's go to game 3. I think I am interested in my damnation though. I'm interested in damnation. If they're doing like Caryatid questing beast mid-range stuff as well. Collective Brutality gets their sorceries and instants. Necromancy is good for me. Maybe I just drop Torsten. Drop in Dante Triumph, drop Satyr Sanctum. Add one of each. And submit again. So that can at least clear up after a channel turn. Not effectively well, but it does clear up a bit. I think I'll keep this. I get to have a look with Bauble and then fetch, and then next turn I can Collective Brutality them. So we are drawing a Grizzlebrand. That's interesting, isn't it? I can just put that there and wait. Yeah, I like that. Does mean that I'm exceptionally reliant on the top of my deck doing stuff, but I didn't need to play a fetch lantern in that case. So I'll get my Grizzlebrand. And they don't have a 1 mana spell by the looks of things. I will fetch a mountain because I don't want to draw any of them. That's a mountain. And now we can Collective Brutality the channel out of their hand. So let's go Collective Brutality, cast, drain you, dink, dink, and discard the Grizzlebrand. So they've got Wheel of Fortune and Green Sunsinger. I'm not against a Wheel of Fortune. So let's just take the Green Suns. That's just going to get like a questing beast and hurt us or something. So Sylvan Caryatid comes in. And I'll go Swamp Fable, which will clear out the wheel quite quickly if I have any chaff left over. Although they might Besage you instead of wheeling, but that's fine as well. So Bio, yeah, send it. Titan of Industry, Besage you 2 lands. And my stuff as well. I didn't draw a Reanimate spell. They drew a Soul Ring. So I need to keep one of these lands at least. That's not even true actually, is it? Because I've got treasure tokens. So yeah, I'll use, I can just discard a swamp and an Archon. I've played this game before. And we can hit nothing. Perfect. So let's attack with the Shaman. I probably want to be able to have Bitter Triumph up this turn. So I think it's just going to be attack, play a land, cast a Sapphire, cast a Shieldred. and that way I can't get Kozilek particularly hard. And if they don't put anything into play, or if they tap all their lands to put something into play and it's not particularly scary, then I can edict their carry acids. Although if the edict's gone, then what's the point? Yes, that went fairly well, except for the fact we didn't find a reanimator. So they go through the breach. Please don't be Emrakul. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, fine. I've got the Goblin Shaman that's going to spit out treasures. Annihilator 6. So treasure, sapphire, mountain, swamp. Maybe just the Fable and another swamp. And then I go to 6. And then they reshuffle. They got Pirate Spellbomb, sure. But I can not draw a good card. So let's attack. And again, we'll hold up this Triumph, but we will play the currency converter. So there are 8. Play a mountain. Oh, I said I'd play the currency converter and then never took action on that. So I've just got Bolt, Shield's Edict up. Let's see if they can through the breach me again. They've got 5 cards in hand. The good news is they can't through the breach and Emrakul. So they draw a card off the spell bomb, which is going to expose them to Bolt if they don't just die on my next turn. We've got a Devoted Druid, that's fine. And it's back to me. So on your end step, I'll ask you to sacrifice a non-token creature. Which will present lethal without a bolt, so that's good. Oh, and that's a match. I thought I was going to game 3. Nice. All right, I'll see you. Okay. So we're up against Jalkoba. We're on the draw. We've got turn 1 converter, which is nice. Any black spell's probably pitchable at this point as well to this grief, if it doesn't reanimate. I'll still roll out the currency converter. I think Shieldred's a bit too good to go pitching to grief this early. Especially when there's a turn, hopefully in the future, where we're going to want to reanimate a Primus, and it'd be good to clear the path. So opponent's turn 2, immediately into the tank. And they have a tap of black for a Black Lotus, blue, blue, blue. So, once again, just getting maximally punished for not playing Grief. Well, last time I did play Grief, this time I didn't play Grief and got punished for it. So maybe it is I'm just supposed to exile any black card, no questions asked. I can't imagine that's the case. This would be a cool twist from them, if they have a Time Twister. No, just Mana Rocks to make Mana Rocks, to make an expressive iteration. Okay, that was sick. And then they're going to hopefully get a land drop, which is a Hallowed Fountain. Okay, so Wrath Spent into Hallowed Fountain with 2 talismans along the way. And a shock into play. Into retrofit to find it. Okay, so it's like big artifact nonsense. Let's play a swamp and let's loot now. Nothing. Well, I'll discard the Primus. And I will put it under the converter. If they kill the converter, they kill the converter. I like my Shielded even more now that they're likely a wheel deck. With all of this nonsense going on, it's going to be hard not to have a draw 7. So taking pain to make blue mana, despite having Hallowed Fountain in play. Okay, they've caught that one. So blue colorless, and it looked like a black a minute ago. Blue colorless, cast a Sigh, and then I did another talisman, basically. So Vampiric Tutor will be nice because that's going to get us a Reanimate of some variety. So let's pass once more, and then we can start casting our spells and looting our things away. Although they're going to get the... I know I've got a chump blocker for the 4/4. Retrofit Sire is really sick. But yeah, I can chop the 4/4 and then kill the Sire next turn. So they've got a Jet as well. One card in hand for the opponent. So I will tap this to make a chump blocker. Probably meant I could have played a Triumph this turn instead. But actually I can cycle Triumph and upkeep Vamp, can't I? That works better. Yeah, so cycle the Triumph. I will put that under the converter. I draw the Archon. So let's Vamp before I presume Exhume. And then I'm just going to Exhume the Primus into play. And I'll kill your Retrofitted Foundry, I think. That's the one to go for. They're going to get to make some tokens and stuff. That's not too much of a drama. I'll always yield to this guy. I don't think I'm too interested in griefing still. I know I've just let them cast everything, but black cards that I've drawn have been all fairly integral. And this is something different too. So make a servo, and then that's that. So I've got two 4/4s. Nothing I can't sit around blocking, provided they don't path or plow me. And I've got hopes of getting this Archon into my graveyard and into play at some point as well. And I can make treasures, etc., etc. So they just straight up have the plow. At no point have I been able to play around any of the cards in their hand. That's just not been an option. I think you'd agree. So we take 10, go to 13. And I'll make a treasure token. And it's plus in my ass. It's 4, 5, so that's not great. So Shieldred at least locks down the board. Gains me some life with my currency converter as well. No, they just have counter spells. Okay. Counter spell. How much am I taking here? 10? Awkward. So yeah, so that was pretty good for them. I'm going to say that much. Yeah. So we're going to go down to 3 here. And then they've got one card in hand. We've essentially got to loot on end step using our treasure. So draw and discard. It's like necromancy or bust, basically. Bingo. Yes, I will remove this. So let's put the Archon back. And this is not quite enough mana, is it, to grief as well? So we'll just play around mana leak where we can. So Necromancy. They've already used like a hard counter spell, so now it needs to be like Drain or Cryptic or something like that. So they just have it. They've got something. Sigh, sacrificing 2 things, sure. And you're going to sigh again. Sacrificing Servo and Talisman. Sacrificing Servo is really punishing when I'm about to put an Archon into play. Okay, so Necromancy does resolve. We're going to target the Archon of Cruelty. And Archon triggers. Kill a Servo. They discard a card. We draw a Shieldman's Edict. So I guess I want them to sacrifice a creature token in this spot. They've got 1 card in hands. If they've got a flash speed artifact, then grand, but they just want the big creatures out of play. Now they don't have attacks. This guy got Menace or something. Menace. Oh, cool. Okay, now they're paying some costs. Okay, they sacrifice the 2 things. That makes sense. Draw a card. Fine. Fine. But we're now something resembling stable by the looks of things. Obviously, this turn's quite critical. They're going to have 3 cards in hand after their draw step. I think this guy might loot. He rummages, sure. So if they miss this turn, then we win, essentially. Maybe we'll cast as grief at some point. But Shieldman's Edict being that like 2 for 1 on board, I know there's cards that they hadn't really invested much into, but it was still just cleaning up where we're at such a low life total. Was the fact they got both of them is pretty sick. I'm happy with that. And now Sai gets in. So let's block with the 2/2. I'm assuming we're just getting swept here. Like, can never not be Damnation, right? Or Toxic Deluge or something like that. I think that's both of my reanimates done. So we're now just on like Walking Ballista X equals 2, sure. That's not gonna fly. This was the downside of not getting them to stack side though, is that they're always gonna have things in the way. So they traded the token. It's over to me and I get to untap with an Archon. I'll dismember the Kraken draw. I'll dismember Kodagon's command. So target player discards card, destroy target artifact. Target player discards card. Destroy. I should grief them first. So let's grief and then attack and then get our trigger and everything. So Cryptic Command and Balance. Wow, they're both gone. So now we're at attack. I can wait for this trigger to resolve before I K command the token. So it might sack side, it might sack the side, it might sack the token. Either way, they're going to untap with no cards in hand and likely no creatures in play. Yeah, nice. Cool. We did in fact cast Grief. Do I want Damnation or Prismatic Ending? Prismatic Ending could be a nice one. It's just grab a Plains quickly just to deal with Retrofitter. And what would I cut for that? Maybe just Dark Ritual, maybe some like Speed. Torsten could be one to cut. Torsten, I think, is just the weakest of all my like 4 reanimate cards, and I've got one that I can cast already. I'm down to try and Shaft Sanctum now on Prismatic Ending duty, along with my Plains that I can fetch with Arid Mesa. So, what does this do? Turn 1, nothing. Turn 2, Fable or Thoughtseize or Vamp. This is rough. This hand's so good. I'm on the draw. I think I have to keep this. So Hallowed Fountain tapped is perfect. So it's not a turn 1 retro. And that's a Grief. So let's Grief them pitching Thoughtseize, I guess. Or maybe K Command. With the intention again of working towards Shield Grid. K Command's like such a good 2-1 against them, so I'm going to just pitch the Thoughtseize. So Fractal Identity, Duress, Assaulted Plowshares. So I guess I've got to take Fracture at this point, so I'll just pitch my Thoughtseize. Play a Shattered Sanctum, I'll cast the Sapphire to get out of Duress range. And then they can Duress any of these, and I can consider vamping for a land or something. They can't Duress me, nice. They've got Pentad Prism. So Pentad Prism comes in, and I imagine they're Duressing then. And then we've got to ask ourselves the question of, do we want to Duress for a land? I'm kind of tempted to, if they don't take my Vamp. Right, they Duress. Do I want to Vamp for a land if they don't take my Vamp? I'm hoping they just take my Vamp. The reason I kept K Command was because I wanted to destroy the artifacts later in the game. Red source? Okay, maybe we just don't have a game. So back over to them. They've only got Talisman Plow and a mystery card, I think. So just play Dire Island. So on Talisman Plow and one other. That's the Talisman. And a Mox Opal. Just back up to 3 mana. Land. Necromancy, okay. Over to you. And they found Orcish Bowmasters. So their last card is Source of Plowshares. They got 2 cards after their draw step, and we draw a mountain. So let's just sorcery speed this. Oh no, we can upkeep this, I think. And I'm just going to blow up Pentad Prism and Orcish Bowmasters. That's what I'm going to do with my K command here. So 2 damage to any target, destroy target artifact. Actually, I could go after the Talisman, shouldn't I? So that's permanent mana. And now they're just reduced to 3 mana for the turn if they haven't drawn a counter spell last turn. Nice. So they draw a land, but that's fine. We take 1 down to 16. I'm gonna play a necromancy. I'm gonna take their bowmaster and get them to plow their own bowmaster. We know they're holding plow, but this cuts off card draw engines until they plow it. So, and then if I get the shieldred, then that's like a bigger and better bowmaster. So for now, the board is mine, provided they don't just go off. And once we've used our plow, then my Fable token's going to stick around. My Flame Tongue's going to come in and trade for something. So another land for them. Balance is awkward for them because it just turns off a lot of their mana. So let's attack. And then we'll play our Fable post-combat. And they're like heavily incentivized to never use this plow because they know about my shieldred. So that's quite cool for us. They draw a third path like Iconoclast. Okay. But what's the follow-up to that, right? A concession. Sweet. I'll see you for round 3. I don't know why they've conceded. I feel like they're still in this, right? Like plow my bowmaster, or maybe that's the problem. Is plow my bowmaster, run straight into shieldred. The looming shieldred is an issue, but I feel like there's a lot more game to be played against someone who's on 2 lands and you have balance in your deck. I don't know. Like the further and further ahead I get, the better and better your balance gets. So never mind. See you for round. Okay, so on the draw once again, we've got this nonsense to contend with. I think on the draw I have to keep this sort of stuff. I've got Bitter Triumph to get a Grizzlebrand in 20 yards so I can high roll, and then a red source just unlocks my entire deck and I get loads of cards from it. So yeah, against Ice T, he's got like some little symbols here. MKM promo 2. Cool. I don't know what that means. And yeah, maybe this Wasteland can just bink them and remove them from the game as well. That would be nice. I think it's the sort of keep where if you said I mulliganed it, then I would, you know, appreciate all the reasons why. But then there's also going to be games where we top deck a red source, turn 1 epicure them, or we just die on turn 1 as well. That's another option. Immediate death. Okay. So going to take a card out of our hands. Probably the Fable, maybe the Bitter Triumph. If I don't draw red, I'm just going to wasteland them. If I do draw red, I'll be tempted to just wasteland them. So, yeah. Turn on mana crypt. They take the Triumph. We get a Necromancy. So let's just waste them for now. And hope they don't have any more lands. So they took the 3. They've got a Caracas. Our Grizzlebrand is useless. Fucking hell. Mana Vault as well. Alright. Next game. Let's get our Damnation in here. Dodgy keep and the nuts from the opponent. So Damnation can definitely come in. Arc Trail can come in. Fearmancer can probably come in. I know they only play flyers, but we can assume. What do we cut, though, is another question, and it's one that I don't have answers to. So Torsten always gets out, which means I can drop the Shattered Sanctum, but not the Indancer Triumph, and I can add a red source to my deck. I've got 2 cuts to make. Do I like all the fat things, or do I want to cut the Primus and be happy reanimating Flame Tongues and Carnosaurs and, you know, Ophiomance? I think that's fine. And then it's just, do I play the Dark Ritual, or do I want all of my cards to matter? I think I think I can consider cutting Dark Ritual here. Or Vamp. No, Vamp's too good because I'm so light on the actual combo elements. I think I'm going to cut Dark Ritual and play this. Maybe the Wasteland could become a mountain. So what's this? We'll keep it anyway. We'll bauble ourselves. Start there. Probably not rolling out the turn 1 Collective Brutality. Grief. I probably do want a Grief. So okay, we'll cast my Sapphire because I don't want to get turn 1 mana screwed. And next turn, depending on how this goes, I can Grief Scam them or just play a Fable. The Collective Brutality I held because it's a removal spell that I'd rather get better application out of later. I don't need to fetch right now, so I'm getting red from that anyway. So let's fetch and roll out a Fable. And then next turn I can just hard cast Grief and Wasteland them. I think that's better. So I want all of my cards to matter. I don't want to be punting cards away against this deck. They've got Bloodstained Master. We already knew they were red-white, right? So the advantage, yeah. So still just red-white. No dual lands off the Mire. Arctrail my zombie token, my goblin token. And I get an Exhume. So yeah, let's discard Grief and Wasteland. And now what? So I can Necromancy a Grief. I can Exhume a Grief. But I don't have the black that I need next turn. It's like a 3-turn plan to get Archon into play, isn't it? Yeah, I'm just going to pass. I'm going to Vamp for Archon, and then next turn I can Collective Brutality them. And then the following turn I can Necromancy. So they do have black in their deck. That's fine. It's a little annoying, but it's fine. So let's Vamp for Archon or Cruelty instead of Grizzlebrand, because we know they've got Caracas in their deck. Archon or Cruelty is that one there. And then we will Collective Brutality, cast this. Target creatures -2/-2, and duress you. So we're going to get 3/3, which is just going to be a nice object to have in play. They've got Palace Joda, Solitude, Paradox Wave. Jesus wept. Staff of the Storyteller. All right, cool. Cool. Where's the revealed cards then? So Staff of the Storyteller comes in. Look at that hand. And then they draw a card. Do you make a land drop? No. So I can Necromancy a Grief here, right? Take that Solitude? No, because then when I Exhume, it just happens. So maybe it's just Exhume and Archon. Yeah, if I Exhume Archon, I lose my Sapphire. I lose Sapphire, and then they pitch Solitude, and then later on I can Necromancy Solitude, they can wave it back and just demolish me. That sounds good. Let's get Archon Cruelty into play. Get our trigger. This might force them to pitch a Solitude. I do lose a Sapphire, that's fine. Archon resolves. Your guy dies, my guy dies. Be interested to see what they discard. So Staff of the Storyteller's Tongue, they've got other cards in hand also, but Solitude, Gideon, Parallax Wave, Palace Jailer is like all the hits. And then maybe I follow this up with a... No, because the mana's annoying. They discarded the Porcelain Legionnaire. So I'm going to Necromancy Grief here. I'm just going to get rid of their Palace Jailer or their Parallax Wave, I think. Maybe they're Gideon, who really knows. This will make them move on Solitude. So I'm going to get another card out of their hand. Yeah, so Solitude pitching Parallax Wave. He's gone. I could Skyclave the... No, I want Grief. Orcish Bowmaster's Palace Jailer. Gideon Allies Undercar. So all of those are horrible for me. If I take the Bowman, then I can kill Gideon. And yeah, maybe Bowmasters is the worst for me just because of the fact that it's going to draw them cards. I think I can lose the other two quite effectively. So let's take the Bowmasters. We need to try and leverage as much menace as we can get our hands on. And Bowmasters just coming in and trading for grief is a disaster. So they top deck to land. And now it's just, do you play Gideon, do you play Palace Jailer? Like Palace Jailer, your grief, and then block all the time. Makes sense as a play, yeah. And then they'll, oh. So I just get the Monarchy straight back because of menace. Currency Converse can be cracking, but let's go and make ourselves the king first of all. So I am your god. And then Currency Converter. So when it comes to 1-mana spells, I've got Lightning Bolt and Thoughtseize in my deck. I guess Thoughtseize is the better draw here. So he gets the Gideon. Lightning Bolt protects the Monarchy, so maybe I want Lightning Bolt. Oh, doesn't matter. So we'll discard a mountain and exile it under the Currency Converter. But this Currency Converter was like quite a nice draw because it's going to push us through our deck. We draw a Voldaren Epicure, which is another red 1-drop, so edge that way. And then if they attack me, their Gideon's gonna take damage, or I'm gonna take the Monarchy off them. They're getting lower and lower on life. But they're gonna, yeah, the Monarchy plus is gonna be tough. I don't know if I'm supposed to be going face here, or whether I'm supposed to be going after Gideon. I don't know. Oh, Fearmancer. Wow. I guess I'll go face. Attack you, become the Monarchy. Swamp the board with threats or just permanents, whilst being the Lord and Savior. So a Fearmancer, and I will play the Swamp here. just in case because I can activate the blood and get something different underneath the currency converter, and maybe that'll be a blocker, you know? So opponent's at 7. It's the Grim Lava Monster. Grim Lava Monster is very good onto this board, isn't it? So maybe I'll just make a treasure token on end step. This has been a good game. I'm not saying I played it perfectly, but I feel like we've gotten ourselves into like maybe not a good spot. It's quite precarious. I can make an additional blocker if I need to, but I think I'd rather try and get the Grim online. Attacking doesn't look like a positive thing for them without removal. Lauren of the third path is annoying. It's going to go after my necromancy. That makes sense, I guess. I would have thought I would have gone after the currency converter, but grief is dead. So yeah, that's the main damage outlet, isn't it? Now dealt with. Combating into an Etheomancer is tough. Maybe I'm supposed to be going digging for my shield grid and ignoring the Grim. Gideon becomes a creature. And they've got to get in with like reasonable things here. So yes, I think I'm going to blood away my Grim Lava Monster, because that's going to trade with the Knight Ally token. Yes, I would like to. I draw off blood and get a Bitter Triumph, which will just straight up kill Gideon, right? Let's make a 2/2. And Death Toucher here, 2/2 in front of 2/2. It's an interesting attack as well, because if they just sit there and make 2/2s, they're just going to bury me in cards. I know I've got the Monarchy at the moment, but Mountain. So let's loot. Damnation. I don't like that into the Restless Bivouac that they've got over there. And then pass. Yeah. I guess I need to just triumph now. Pay 3 life on Gideon. So I don't want them making tokens instead. I don't want them coming to the same thought process as me. So we'll just kill that and draw a card. This is a flash threat. Oh no. That was awful for us. Wow. Tough breaks. So I do get a card though, so that's quite nice. It is the Shield Rid. Shield Rid versus Gideon's going to be a race, isn't it? If I give them the Monarchy, then I kind of want to hold the Monarchy this turn and then give it back. I guess is the joke there. They've got 3 cards in hand. Gideon's going to draw them another card off of Staff. Doesn't look like enjoyable attacks from them. But we could trade all of this off. Everything's dead, so my damnation doesn't matter. You play Gideon, I play Shieldred. Who's winning? I don't know. Anthem and Gideon would be quite a play, I think. These are all gone. Just make a night token, sure. Yeah, because then you're going to get cards. Do you just send with the squad and force me to decide between my Etheomancer and the Monarchy? Yeah, I'd really like to draw my Thoughtseize because if I can combine Thoughtseize and Shieldred in the same turn, and then they take the monarchy back, then Shieldred's just going to burn them so quickly. It's not the greatest plan, but it's a plan at the moment. Okay, opponent thinks for a while and then casts a Mox Ruby. They've got one card left in hand, but access to another one with Staff. So let's see what this Ruby can ramp out for them. Moving to combat. I still have the monarchy at the moment. I think I am interested in this. Well, they're interested in just having a dead Palace Jailer. Maybe that's what they want, though. Maybe that's the whole joke. Reanimate Palace Jailer. I feel like reanimating Palace Jailer to get the monarchy is not very good, right? So you can just leave me the monarchy and just machine gun my whole board with Bowmasters and monarchies. They tap their black souls anyway, so I don't know what's going on. Just bolt my FEM answer. So I don't have the mana without drawing the Sapphire that's in exile to Damnation, and wow, post combat blew me. And then a silent clearing. Okay, I do not know how to deal with any of this information. So what if I just play Shieldred? So 6, 7 mana. I think I just play Shieldred. Tapping my land like an absolute boss as well. I'll play out the Iron so I might want to loot my currency converter to gain some life. No attacks, we'll just take the monarchy trigger. They didn't activate Loran in response, which is great for us. That's a try and will look great underneath that currency converter in just a moment. At some point they'll activate this Restless Bivouac, but now with Shieldred going, the monarchy is it's not a downside if they find the removal, but if they don't find the removal, it just kills them a bit faster, right? So they've got one card in hand, and they're paying costs. So it's a Giver of Runes, which is going to push through damage and take over the monarchy next turn. But they'll be very close to dead at that point. Gideon Ansons, okay. Lumi ticks up. Lumi puts counters on Lumi. And no attacks. So that is pretty insane for us. I'm going to get no lands. I'm just going to have a quick check at what's remaining and carry on with my day. Let's make a treasure token then, I guess. Wow. Tight plays in tight matches. That's what you like to see, isn't it? So Shieldred puts me up a bit. So Flame Tongue seems like a great draw. I'm going to use red off of my treasure token if I need it. We're going to Flame Tongue the Giver, I guess, to protect the monarchy. And pass, and we'll get another card in our end step. We've got no reason to attack because we are on cruise control. They're going to go down to 3. They can't activate Laura and they can't activate Silent Clearing. And next turn's the turn where I can give them the monarchy, I guess, if they've got no cards in hand. We just need them to just draw lands from now on. And they've scooped it up. So that was not the last match, which is quite distressing. Let's get down to game 3, I guess. So sideboarding, I think I like where I'm at. I like not being on the prismatic endings and just being on the creature spot removal. Yeah, I think this looks good. Let's go see if we can do that again and fade the nut draws that they had in that first game. Okay, so we're going to keep this hand where we'll have turn 1 bolt, turn 2, oh, turn 1, yeah, turn 1 Epicure bolt, turn 2 Vamp for a Fatty, turn 3 make an Archon of Emeria. So they've got Ruby, Volt, if I'm remembering this right, they've got Ruby, Volt, and oh, discarding a Bowman, wow. So let's just play out the Epicure. Yeah, Ruby, Volt, and Mana Crypt, is that right? Unless I'm getting my rounds confused. But they are at 19, so we're winning. Yeah, so next time I can do nothing, and I can just hold up Vamp and Bolt. Vamp for an Archon, and then Archon them. And I think Archon's better, just because the card swing is going to be important. I will trade here. I don't see any reason not to. I've got a portable hole on my blood token, which is devastating, really. So Grizzlebrand into hand, which I could have done with. So let's just go Swamp and pass. And what quick and easy discards do I have outside of blood tokens? Collective Brutality could be one to vamp for. Or I could still just vamp for Archon, and then next turn I'll have K commands, discard Archon. So it says Palace Jailer. Gross. So they're the Monarchy. Do I want to bolt this? I think so. I think I'll bolt this and vamp for Archon. Is there anything better than Archon here? There's Trumpeting Carnosaur, which can get something on the way through. And then if they don't play something, then bolting this was awful. I'm holding Exhume. Jesus Christ, Josh. Right, with that said, do I have anything with haste? No. Maybe it's just Carnosaur then. And I can pass the turn. I can Archon my Grizzlebrand. I can K-command my Grizzlebrand, or I can Trumpeting Carnosaur their thing. So they've got Timeless Dragon, which I cannot. Timeless Dragon. I cannot. Carnosaur. Right. Grizzlebrand gets hit hard. Carnosaur puts two things into play. I do not know what the play is because I got the Exhume and I bolted the guy. If I didn't bolt the guy, this probably wasn't an issue, was it? Discard Grizzlebrand, draw 7. I go to 11. Then they attack me for 7. I'm at 4. I can knock them out of red mana. I don't remember what red cards they had though. I think Exhuming the Grizzlebrand is the best way to go here. I'm a bit annoyed about how I played this. Destroy target artifact and target player discards a card. So I'll discard and I'll destroy your Ruby. I'll discard Grizzlebrand. Necromancy is the best draw in the deck, as per. It's a Flame Tongue Carvu, it doesn't quite do it. So let's assume I'll have a Grizzlebrand. You'll have a Palace Jailer. Oh no, they can get Bowman. I've just fucked this whole game up so hard. Yeah. Well, I mean, now I have a Grizzlebrand in play. And if they don't have removal for it, then great. I can cancel their Bowmaster and go off. If they do have removal for it, I just at every moment taken the wrong option. So Bivouac, Porcelain Legionnaire. Can it be true? They draw a card off the Monarchy. Necromancy. Also, I could Necromancy Palace Jailer at some point. But let's just attack first of all. Get some life points under us. If there's a slow roll in the plow, then we can Carnosaur the guy. So block. Dragon's dead. Carnosaur the Bowmaster. And now let's draw 7 cards because I need to make a land drop. Cool. So Swamp Thoughtseize. Take your Wheel of Fortune. And pass. Okay. They've got an Arc Trail in hand and nothing else. A Silent Clearing. So that was not well played, but we are in a decent spot. Again, plow, anything like this can really draw them out of it. They played their Silent Clearing. I imagine this has got to be a cracked Silent Clearing turn, right? Unless you've drawn the answer. Okay, Scuttlemutt comes in. Oh, they protected the Monarchy. That makes sense. That's why they blocked last turn. And then they can unearth again to protect the Monarchy again. Nice. Yeah. They get in for some damage. Exile Scrapwork come out. Right. I've got some options. I've got 5 mana. So I think I can Bitter Triumph the Timeless Dragon, get the Monarchy, reanimate my Trumpeting Carnosaur, and do it like that. Let's discard a card because I am somewhat low on life. Let's go Bloodstained Mire. Kill this. Have you drawn white card Solitude for your turn? Attack for 7. Cool. Monarchy trigger on the stack. I'm on 16. Post combat, let's Necromancy. And we'll hit the Carnosaur, which will get us 2 spells, hopefully not Damnation. Cast a Grief, perfect. Grief at least your Arc Trail. And we win the match. Stick and a trophy as well. Nice. Okay, so nice quick review of the deck. I feel like we had good sideboard options here with, a Theomancer, Arc Trail, Damnation, Prismatic Ending, and the mana to just support it. I'm not sure about whether I was supposed to be playing this Dark Ritual or whether I was supposed to be really grinding out every single card. It didn't actually come up, I don't think. But a pretty cool deck, some pretty sick games as well. That final game we didn't play particularly well, but we were able to piece something together, and our opponent kind of drew dead towards the end. But I do really actually quite enjoy this style of Reanimator deck where you've got a decent number of fatties, and then it's all Fables and K commands, Cobras, Bitter Triumphs. We did have one Vamp to hold it all together and bring the relevant pieces together. But this non-blue Rakdos Reanimate style mid-range deck I find really quite good fun. You usually end up with pretty good games, so definitely recommend trying it out. Anyway, So yeah, thanks for watching. I think the only thing we didn't reanimate right was the Torsten in the end, which we skewed our mana a bit for, but it could have just been an arbitrary no Theomancer. But yeah, no, I actually quite enjoyed that league, so I'll catch you guys again soon. Bye.